Hey, like it's one of those times where you can kind of set aside some of the negative things that are going on, and there's always going to be the negative side of things when it comes to Xbox. And the reason being is because that's what Microsoft does. They seem to kind of shoot themselves in the foot, right in the middle of having kind of a turnaround or something. It's to be expected at this point. But the point that I would always try to make is that this isn't something new, and that if you own an Xbox right now, you're probably pretty content. There's not so much of a reason to kind of rush out and just get rid of it right now. Yeah, it's foolish for Microsoft to put the games that give Xbox an identity on PlayStation. Again, I think at some point we'll see the milk run dry, so to speak, of the older games that are worthy or that would actually be bought by that crowd. There's only so much uh, you know, room, so much time in the day for, and the people that play PlayStation and Xbox, the majority of them are playing stuff like Fortnite and Call of Duty and FIFA, Madden, Apex Legends, Minecraft, Roblox. They're playing the same game. So Microsoft thinking, hey, let me introduce a bunch of these games to PlayStation. They'll be surefire hits just because they were hits on Xbox years ago. I don't really look at that and think that that's really a thing anymore. I mean, look how fast Sea of Thieves kind of died out. I mean, yeah, it's easy to go, okay, well, they might have sold 1 million, maybe 2 million copies of that by putting it on PlayStation, but for every Sea of Thieves, there's like 3 games that did nothing. Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, and Grounded didn't do a thing on PlayStation. So it's like, and again, Sea of Thieves is dead on PlayStation right now, and at the same point in time, the only thing it did was further hurt the image of the Xbox brand. So was it worth it to get $40 million at the end of the day? I guess that's up for Microsoft to decide. But this, I think, is good news, kind of surprising as well. I think a lot of people would be kind of shocked if this happened. It might be one of the best years ever for Xbox if this does indeed happen. But what's up, everybody? I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. Please hit the like button, share it out, subscribe if you haven't already done so. I would certainly appreciate it. And again, I do daily gaming content. Let's go ahead and get that out in the open. It can be difficult, kind of keep up on that kind of grind, but I enjoy it. I try to be fun yet entertaining, informative as well, so hopefully that comes across to y'all. Now, here's the thing, right? We know Xbox is going to have a solid lineup of games this year, just from the games that are already confirmed and announced. Let's hope, fingers crossed. I mean, the main one that I don't want to see get delayed is Fable, so, we do have that situation. It could be cool to see, all these games kind of come out this year. It wouldn't make up for previous years, I think, maybe some fashion. You've got Avowed, you've got, Outer Worlds 2, you've got Doom Dark Ages, you've got South of Midnight, you've got Towerborn, and now there's this one that's all of a sudden rumored, Gears of War E-Day, which, if anybody knows me, follows this channel, knows I'm a huge Gears of War fan. I've got a Gears tattoo. The first 3 games, absolutely incredible, but, I've been hard on the last 2. I thought 4 was okay. 5, to this day, I still haven't even finished it. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure what they were trying to accomplish with that one, but, hopefully that's what they saw, and they're like, hey, let's give people, the Gears that they want, and go back to the old school Gears, and I think that could really pay off. And it looks like this game might actually launch this fall, which is very interesting. Microsoft and the Coalition unveiled Gears of War E-Day last June, having done so with only a brief cinematic trailer and no release window. So many assume the third-person shooter was ways off. Interestingly enough, though, however, it might actually be closer than expected, according to prominent leaker Nate the Hate, who has claimed in an episode of his podcast that Gears of War E-Day could launch in 2025. Now, this isn't the first time that the shooter was rumored to release later this year. And sure enough, as Nate the Hate, it could kick off Microsoft's fall holiday release lineup. Microsoft has the likes of Avowed, The Outer World 2, South of Midnight, Doom the Dark Ages, and Fable officially lined up for 2025. Past reports have claimed that the company has yet more games planned for the year as well, and that it has not yet formally added to the calendar. If Gears of War E-Day is indeed one of those games, that's doubtless going to make for an even stronger year for Xbox as new game releases are concerned. Now, here's the thing. So, 2025, okay, I'm going to say personally I don't believe that. I think potentially. Now, listen, if it's ready, then I think they could. But I think if Gears of War launches this year, then I think that Fable will get pushed back, right? And I don't want that to happen. You know what I mean? Like, make sure they have Gears set and ready to go and kind of in a good spot before they release it. For me, anyway, I want to see what Fable can do, with a new developer and things like that. If it can still be Fable, if it can still be, what we all expect it to be. Now, the interesting thing is that Gears of War, believe it or not, I mean, Coalition, what have they done? They released Gears of War 5 in 2019, and we're in 2025, so 6 years ago. There's some people that think Microsoft might come out with a new piece of hardware in 2026, and I think Gears of War makes the most sense to launch with that. Especially if you're trying. I mean, obviously, it would work on our consoles now too. Listen, if you're like an Xbox Series S or X owner, you're pretty safe bet to say, okay, well, our consoles are going to work with everything Microsoft releases probably through 2030, which is, it is what it is. So, at the same point in time, we're all kind of sitting here thinking, it's a hell of a lineup. Microsoft has a brilliant lineup of games. Even if they're not all exclusive, they're still going to be, Game Pass stuff and stuff to get excited about and play. And I think Gears of War could be, that game that really kind of gets people super amped up and excited about Xbox game. But to me, if I'm Microsoft and if you have Gears of War ready and you are indeed doing a 2026 launch of your platform of a new console, yes, I would release it then. If you're not, then, I do think that it just makes a lot of sense to kind of make sure that you have everything you need in the current aspect, you know what I mean? Release it this year, but I think Microsoft has to realize that that they do push Game Pass, and since they do push Game Pass, you have to have constant content. You have to really have the games ready to go, every quarter, every other month, whatever the case may be, right? It's because, Game Pass really stagnated at a particular point. You have to go back and look at, okay, when was Xbox selling well? When was Game Pass growing? Okay, well, it was growing in, 2021, of course. Well, there's a lockdown going on, so yeah, gaming is going to grow somewhat there. It probably isn't going to grow tremendously now that there is no lockdown, but still it could still grow if you had great games in there. The other thing would be is that you look at when Xbox was selling extremely well, and I'm talking Xbox Series S and X. You just have to look at 2021 yet again, and the reason why is because they ended that year with 5 straight games, first party exclusives. Well, not exclusives, but quality games from the first party, including Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5, and even Psychonauts 2, as well as Flight Simulator, which was rated extremely high at that time. So they had really good things going, and I think that's something that you have to understand. You need quality content. I mean, it really comes across as hey, we have this content. This is exactly what people kind of want. They want to see more of these types of things from us in the future, and that to me is where I think Microsoft needs to go with this stuff. You have to have the games above all else, and even if Phil Spencer is too dense to realize that great exclusive content and great games can kind of sell your hardware, you can still have a situation where that can actually help out, you know what I mean? Like, it can, people don't want to believe it or whatever, but honestly, you can seriously sell hardware if you have great console exclusives, right? Like, that's just honestly something that needs to be said. For me anyway, I think that it just makes sense for Microsoft to push what they have. They've had some amazing content before, so I think people can get back on board with what Xbox is trying to do if they can successfully kind of release these games and they're good quality. You have to have good quality stuff, like sort of like what Indiana Jones is, right? That is excellent quality. They did a really good job on that game. It's great. So you have to have that type of style. You have to have that type of quality to kind of play off of everything, and I feel like that's exactly what they can do if they kind of listen to it. Like, if they go ahead and start trying to make everything multi-plat, that's going to lead to big issues, and I think the biggest issue is games are going to take even longer to make. Like, people don't realize that, right? So making a game just for the Xbox consoles and PC much easier than making it for those things, the Switch 2 and PlayStation 5, so keep that in mind before you cheerlead that too much. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I will link this in the description. You guys can check it out. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. I'm Crab Gamer. I'll catch you next time. Crab Gamer out.